Chapter 14. The Return to the House. Birkin House looked smaller in daylight, not less imposing. The cliff still rose behind it like a spine of ancient bone. The sea still churned below with its restless pulse, but smaller in the way a stage looks smaller once the actors have left. The storm had stripped the house of its menace, leaving behind something older and infinitely sadder. Nesrine parked the car at the edge of the gravel drive. Arthur stepped out beside her, squinting against the pale sunlight. "It feels different," he said. "It is," Nesrine replied. "Something shifted." They walked toward the house, their footsteps crunching softly. The front door stood ajar, though she was certain she had closed it before leaving. The wind nudged it gently, as though inviting them inside. Arthur hesitated. "You think someone's here?" "No," Nesrine said. "But the house is." He didn't argue. He had stopped arguing with her about the house hours ago. Inside, the air was cool and still. The storm had left its mark. Damp patches on the walls, a faint smell of salt and wet wood. But the house felt calmer now, as though relieved that the night's violence had finally run its course. Nesrine moved through the hall, her hand brushing the banister. The wood felt warm beneath her fingers. Arthur followed her into the sitting room. The piano lid was open. Nesrine froze. "I closed that," she said. Arthur stepped closer, examining the keys. "Someone played." "No," she said. "Not someone. Him." Arthur looked at her sharply. "He's gone." "I know," she said, "but he played before he left. He said goodbye to the house." Arthur exhaled. "And the house kept the memory." Nesrine didn't respond. She walked to the piano bench and sat, her fingers hovering above the keys. She pressed one gently. A single note rang out, soft, resonant, lingering in the air like a held breath. Arthur watched her. "You're listening again." "Yes." "To what?" "To what he left behind." She stood and crossed the room to the bookshelf. Something had changed. A book lay on the floor, not fallen, but placed, deliberately. Its spine faced upward. She picked it up. A biography of Jane Birkin. Inside, a page had been marked with a torn scrap of paper. Arthur stepped beside her. "What is it?" Nesrine opened to the marked page. A photograph. Jane Birkin on the terrace, laughing, her hair caught in the wind. Effortless as always, and beside her, barely visible, half-cropped, the sixth guest. Arthur frowned. "He's in this one." "Yes," Nesrine said. "And he hated it." "Why?" She traced the edge of the photograph with her thumb. "Because it proved he was there," she said. "But not fully, not the way he wanted. He was always half in, half out. Present, but peripheral." Arthur nodded slowly. "And that's what broke him." "No," Nesrine said. "That's what shaped him. What broke him was believing he could change it." She closed the book gently. Arthur watched her. "So why did the house bring us back?" Nesrine looked around the room. The piano, the books, the faint imprint of the past lingering in the air like dust. "To show us the truth," she said. "Not the truth of the murders. The truth of the life before them." Arthur leaned against the mantelpiece. "And what truth is that?" "That he wasn't invisible," she said. "Not entirely, not always. He existed in the margins. And sometimes the margins are where the real story lives." The house creaked softly as though agreeing. Nesrine walked toward the window, looking out at the terrace. The sunlight fell across the stone tiles, illuminating the place where the six friends had once stood together. For a moment she imagined them there again, laughing, leaning into each other, unaware of the fracture forming beneath their feet. Arthur joined her. "You're not done," he said. "No," she replied. "There's one more place we haven't looked." "Where?" She turned from the window. "Her room." Arthur nodded. "Jane Birkin's." "Yes." The house seemed to inhale, and together they climbed the stairs.